you, Father. Gising pala tayo lahat. Are we still awake? We are in the holy hour. So after maybe that sumptuous meal, I hope we will not doze off. Okay? Good afternoon, Sawadi Data. Good afternoon, Sawadi Data. My greetings to all our revered participants. Bakit hindi nag-andar ito? I need help. To our revered participants of different faiths, non-profit organizations, donors, philanthropists, the academe, and other organizations. Of course, our Reverend or our Excellencies, Bishop Manolo and Bishop Oceano, and our revered priests, sisters, brothers and sisters, and honorable speakers and sharers, the indefatigable, where is my PowerPoint? Well, that's technology. There, okay. Very good. You covered my face. That's better. Oo. Lumabas pa rin. Of course, I have to greet the indefatigable staff of Spring Rain Global, especially to Dr. Glenda Antonio, its founder. I never thought I will be standing here in front before this auspicious audience. It was on May 13, 2024, if my memory still remembers, already part of the senior citizenship. When we had our meeting on coaching sessions on the 7 pillars there with Dr. Glenda. Dr. Glenda told us, or the congregation, that she is inviting me to be a speaker in this Bango convention, so I can share my UN experience. I did not take it seriously until I received the formal invitation letter, official, from her, signed by the founder itself and Father Victor Gonzaga. They gave me the topic on, come on, cooperate, diversity, equity, inclusion. You know, technology will make us awake. So, my topic is diversity, equity, and inclusion. Many images came into my mind. Diversity, equity. The first one is from the Acts of the Apostles. In the early Christian, wait. You are showing yourself that should not be yet. Yeah. Panggising lang po yan. In the early Christian community in Jerusalem, believers shared their possessions generously. Those who owned land or houses sold them and brought the proceeds to the apostles. The money was then laid at the apostles' feet, and it was distributed to each person according to their needs. This practice ensured that there were no needy individuals among them. The apostles facilitated this distribution, ensuring that those who lacked necessities received support from the community. And this is SRG. I thought we will not sell all our properties and then put it in SRG and they will distribute it. That is not. But it's the concept of diversity, of equity, and inclusion. Another image that came into my mind is that the one that you see already. The image is where we were standing there with the sisters, different congregations. There, I got it. So another image is the United Nations, where people from different nations converge to listen, to share, and to act. The group as the Dominican family, Dominican Sisters International, I will emphasize Sisters International. Later, I will say, to represent the diverse continents, Africa, ano yung different colors, Europe, North and South America, and I represented the Philippines, the Asia Pacific. As what Father said, I am the promoter of the Asia Pacific for peace and justice of the Dominican family. The sisters, because the fathers, they have also. It's not that we don't include them. They are part of our ecosystem, the fathers and the sisters, just like where we are here. So we were there for the Commission of Status of Women. Next, this slide, please. For 2 weeks, we went back and forth in the different conferences rooms. We were bombarded by so many problems and concerns. As what Father Cesar said, one of the concerns is the issue of women. We were there to represent the women, the 60th gathering of women, which that commission identified the vulnerability of women and girls, because they are the ones really victims and affected of all the other problems in the world. Wars, poverty, climate change, migration, etc. I was so happy I was able to touch. We recall that will. Next slide, please. Yeah.
I'm just so happy here in the United Nations to listen to the different hearings on the 7th Sustainable Goals, no poverty, zero hunger, quality creation, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work, economic growth, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption, production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice and strong institutions, and the last one, partnerships for the goals. Thank you.
Pause, please. They will see the beautiful face. So I said the first-hand hearing. As what the bishop said, hearing is really very important. Now we are all here to hear, to listen. So first-hand seeing and first-hand, which touched really my heart. When you walk to the corridor of the United Nations, the headquarters, you will see posters of all kinds. The same sentiments reach to us. When you enter the conference room, we are bombarded with 2030 goals, 2030. It should reach the 2030. Otherwise, the world will be better or worse. So we really have to work hand in hand. So Doc Glenda was telling me, we have really to lobby in the United Nations. I have already contact there, if we have to have there. So we'll see where God is leading us. So next, we will see a slide, yeah, where it is prepared by Caritas International.
What are the SDGs? In 2015, world leaders from 193 countries agreed the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. The world's new action plan for the next 15 years to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger, fight inequality, tackle climate change and achieve sustainable development for all. The SDGs follow the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs, agreed in 2000 in a global coordinated attempt to tackle development issues. As a result, the number of people living in extreme poverty has declined by more than half compared to 1990. More girls and boys go to primary school than ever before, and far more people have access to water and essential medicines. But progress of the MDGs has been mixed. Today, over 800 million people still live in extreme poverty. They are also most vulnerable to the increasing impacts from climate change and environmental degradation. Years of hard-won progress fighting poverty could easily be wiped out by even small conflicts, economic crises, or natural disasters. Also, Sub-Saharan Africa and Southern Asia consistently achieve less progress than other regions. The MDGs measured success on national averages, often missing what happened with marginalised groups like people with disabilities, indigenous groups, rural communities, and women. The international community recognised the new challenges and that human prosperity must go hand in hand with protecting the planet. After a 3-year participatory process, world leaders finally adopted 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So what are these goals for? They are end poverty for all, freedom from hunger, health and well-being, quality of education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, sustainable energy for all, decent work and economic development, innovation and resilient infrastructure, reducing inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, sustainable consumption and production, action on climate change, healthy oceans, sustainable ecosystems, peace and justice, global partnerships. There are 4 underlying principles that come with the SDGs and that are transformational in the way we work on development in the future. Firstly, the SDGs are universal. They apply to every country, rich and poor, north and south, developed and developing. They recognise that global challenges like tackling climate change and changing models of development require global solutions. Domestic policies that look at these issues in one country will have an impact on other parts of the world, so we need to coordinate. Secondly, they integrate all dimensions of sustainability: economic development, social progress, and environmental protection. For example, they tell us to grow enough food for all without destroying the soil or overusing water, to develop our economies without increasing inequality, or to produce enough electricity for all without pumping more CO2 into the atmosphere. This is similar to what Pope Francis says in his encyclical. We are faced not with 2 separate crises, one environmental and the other social, but rather with one complex crisis, which is both social and environmental. Strategies for a solution demand an integrated approach to combating poverty, restoring dignity to the excluded, and at the same time protecting nature.
So that is just an images rather, because Father Sar has explained everything to us, right? He has all the statistics, but I have the video. It's better to remember with the, right? It's better to remember. So understanding and remembering all these goals could be a daunting task. 17, we have to memorize, and then we have to work on it. But I asked the help of Mr. Google, and I found from Atul Malikram, a political strategist, to help us remember these 17 goals. It's peace and justice for all, good partnership. See? Peace. 1, 2, 3. The other side is the words of the United Nations. So just to give us to remember, peace and justice and affordable clean energy. Wait, and first, and J, which was explained by Father. J for J is for justice. Very good, the students. For all. Action on climate, life below water, life on land, and GS. Did you notice something in my slides? Very colorful. I noticed something when I was preparing it. The climate action was doubled. Did you notice it? And it was the gender inequality for number 5 was not there. Anyway, I will still research more. I will ask the political strategist why he removed that. Maybe just for peace and justice for all. So, finally, the 16th says, it emphasizes the importance of building peaceful, just, and inclusive societies. It includes access to justice and accountable institutions. And the last one, why we are here, partnership for the goals calls for collaboration among governments, businesses, and civil society to achieve this SDG. And of course, the faith-based. That's why we have our bishops, our priests, our sisters here. It's not in the text, but we have to add that. It's faith-based. No? This involves sharing knowledge, resources, and expertise. So remembering all these goals is essential to actively contributing to more sustainable and equitable world. So this peace and J for all, GD, could help us recall and understand these goals. By familiarizing ourselves with these objectives, we can play a role in achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and making the world a better place for all. I know each one of us here, we have done already a little part in this 17th. As what, Father, I will be repeating you, not all we can achieve, little by little, just like, next slide, please. Before we came, we have the Dominican family. I'm sorry to be using my family, because that is my experience. The Dominican family has just launched a book worked by the Justice and Peace Promoters worldwide on climate change and UST. Right, you were there, Father. I did not see you because climate change and human rights education for youth in the Philippines. I will use this also as an advertisement. Please use this in your classrooms or in your communities. And then just the other night, before we traveled, 9:30 to 11, we had a meeting with the Justice and Peace International, just the three of us. And then we will work again, what can the Dominican women or sisters can do for the world. We'll have a webinar on three SDG. We just chose the climate change, the what is the three? The third one. Education for all, and of course the justice and peace for children and women. So, still part of education. So the importance, this also we could see that the Spring Rain Global are really doing right. We are really in consonance with the UN. So I really congratulate that. We congratulate ourselves because we are here. We are members of this SDG. Now, my real topic is diversity. Let's look at the three words: diversity, equity, inclusion. I have images here. I love images because sometimes if we have a lot of words, it does not, diversity is recognizing and respecting and valuing differences based on ethnicity, gender, race, religion, or physical ability, or attributes, disability, and sexual orientation and political beliefs. It is the range of human differences. The next word is equity. Equity is a quality of being fair and partial. Look at the image very well. Equity is look at the standard. Equality, look. Equality, next slide. Equity and equality. I will not explain it. self-explanation. Di ba? Kita nyo? So, equity refers to the just and fair provision of resources to all individuals, which represents impartiality. While equality denotes provision of same resources to all peoples, it is the state of being the same when it comes to status, rights, and opportunities. So there's the difference. Let's see the difference there. It's fair, but there's the difference here on the equity side based on their needs. There is the same resources. Here, they have equal access, and the other side, equality, everyone will benefit from the same support. Let's see now on inclusion. I love these images, especially this, no? The recent declaration on human dignity by the Vatican, Dignitas Infinita, says, number 53, because here in the first image there is no one in wheelchair. Thus, every effort should be made to encourage the inclusion and active participation of those who are affected by frailty or disability in the life of society and of the church. That's why in our class in La Salle on catechetical leadership supervision, we were given a questionnaire if it will include the course on disability. So, dadagdagan daw yung course namin. So many assignments, so many readings. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling. Next. So diversity, equity, inclusion are three different but interconnected concepts. They work together to create an environment of respect and fairness. It involves initiatives promoting the equal access, opportunity, employment, in sense of belonging of underrepresented people in the workplace. Just, you can read silently. Okay. Now, next, there we see that this encompasses the symbiotic relationship, philosophy, and culture of acknowledging, embracing, supporting, and accepting those of racial, gender, as I said earlier, and socioeconomic backgrounds, among other differentiator. Our next slides, our congregation has, this is action. Kasi dun sa outline, you have to make action what you are talking about. Action, our 6 advocacies, as a congregation, we have our 6 advocacies, which illustrate the impact of embracing diversity, promoting equity and inclusion in the quest of philanthropic efforts. This with the help of Dr. Glenda and her staff to identify the 6 advocacies. We are really working hard so that, 5 minutes, just go, 5 minutes na lang daw. Okay, let's see. These are our 6 advocates. May I ask my ambassador sisters? We are here, represented the 7 sisters from the congregation. These are the ambassadors of the 6 advocacies. Ambassadors daw, the term for SRG, but actually we are servants, or put it, the handmaids of the Lord. Since I am the ambassador of ecological spirituality and community development, I would like also to present what we are doing now in our neighborhoods. You know, our novitiate house is in the middle of two communities in need, the young women and children and the elderly. The other side, they call themselves the factory of children. Let's see why.
Many days have come and gone. Many years seem to have been wasted. Round and round, like an aimless journey, seems like we've been here before. What on earth am I here for? Come, my friend, stop for a while.
What we really want is, because occasionally we give them gifts, we give them goods, groceries, we give them fish, but we want to teach them how to fish. That's why we are really looking for funds. We want to sustain it. Next slide, dire-diretso na lang natin kasi 5 minutes na lang daw tayo.
Or we are journeying. I don't
Okay,
want
cut.
We are serving.
No, it was explained what the problem really. That's the. Okay, next please. Strategies to ensure equal access and opportunities and inclusion in philanthropy. Actually, it was already explained by Dr. Glenda, and the other speakers will pass it. Okay, community engagement. By implementing these strategies, we can create a more inclusive and equitable philanthropic sector that truly serves the needs of all communities. And then we have there the barriers, and one of the barriers is the language. What is really important is not you don't understand each other, but the language of love, if it's there, everything will follow. And that's what, when I came, when I was telling, next, the details, they are already explained or will be explained. I was asking the Lord, what do you want me to share? He said, God, this is if we just look for the pearl of great price. Jesus himself is the prime advocate of diversity, inclusion, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, Deo. Gagawin ko yan, Deo, God. So if you find that, everything will follow. It is the year of prayer. And then we have full of hope. For next year is the theme, but we still have to have hope every day. Okay, next. And everything will follow. We would like to show a little bit of our first funding. What is that, Dr. Glenda? Fundraising did you see our mother house? It's already, it was dilapidated, the other part, because it's full of anay. So we have our fundraising, we had our concert.
To love the Lord our God is the heartbeat of our mission, the spring from which the service overflows across the street all around the world. The mission still the same, proclaiming in the truth in Jesus' name.
You are laughing. I was looking at the conductress.
Across the streets all around the world, the mission still the same. Proclaim and live the truth. In Jesus'
Deo gracias. Thank you. Salamat po.